Welcome to how to use student writing trends to do a really quick CFA for your students. Student writing trends is it's a tool in MagicSchool that we developed that will analyze your entire class and give you feedback on how they're doing based on the RISE rubrics. This can be used for benchmarks or replace a benchmark, or if you are specifically targeting something, one of the standards that you want to do and bring together. The goal here is that it does the writing analysis fast, not that it's grading your students, but that it's more like giving you feedback that you can take to a PLC to have a conversation around. So let's get in here and I'll show you how it works. This is just all what I wrote in the background. And then these are the rubrics from the state. You can attach and change things if you want. You can put in knowledge. You can adjust this however you want when you use it with your students, if you want to bring it down or not. So this tool is for you. It's not something your students would use. It's something you would use. And so as it goes through, it's asking you, it's saying, hey, I'm here to analyze based on the USBE rubrics, your student writing. What are they doing, informative or are they doing argumentative? So you could say, hey, they're doing informative. Or better yet, let's do argument. Let's say they're doing argument. And this is just letting it know which source to look at. So it's saying, okay, I'm going to use the argument writing rubric. I'm going to look at all these things. You could tell it just to look at one thing. You have control. You can do that down here, but it basically wants me to upload. Now I can batch download my students' writing from Canvas, and then you can upload that here by class. So you think you can upload like up to 50 documents, if I'm correct. I just put all these in one for the sake of making this fast, but these are actual batch downloads of student writing. So let me just go into my Google Drive here. Student writing sample, there we go, for argument. And what I did is I took kids' names off of this and I put a number because I want you to see what this can do. So I'm just going to say here is my first period class with 20 students. And so it's going to look at it and it's going to give me an overview now of my class. So based on the RISE argument writing rubric, it's telling me, okay, the average score is 4. Here's the rationale. The majority of students demonstrated an ability to provide adequately purposeful and focused written responses with clear claims about the pollinator gardening effect. Most responses show adequate understanding of argument writing, including supporting evidence and basic reasoning, though the quality and depth varied significantly across the samples. And so then it says, would you like me to provide a summary of the top 3 writing strengths and the top 3 areas for growth that I've identified? So I'm going to say, yeah, as a class, please provide a summary of the top 3. I'm just going to leave it at that. And so this is going to say, here's where my students are doing really well, and here's where they could use a little extra. So they're doing well with claims, and then it tells me what they're doing. These would be my student names if I were to put their writing in here, but I put in numbers just to protect their names, I guess. So these are their strengths here. It's telling me these students did this. And then it's telling me here are the areas you need to grow that your students can grow. And these are the students right here. Opposing claims, elaboration, that's no surprise. And then transitions and cohesion. So then I can go in here and I can start preparing this data to take to my PLC. Now, obviously I'm going to spot check a few of these. I'm going to go read them in Canvas and just make sure it's aligned with how I'm grading. But it means I don't have to take home 150 essays to grade at night because I can get generalized data to guide my own instruction. So let me go in here and say, and here's something cool too. I can say, please group my students so I can work with them on focus areas. And so here it goes in and it's basically saying, here are some groups of your students. So now I can pull small groups and I can say, okay, your group 1 is this, I don't know, Johnny, Sally, Frank, and Bob. They did all this really well. So, these guys are going strong. These guys right here, these are the things you could work on with them right here. These are the things I can work on. I can even ask it to give me lesson plans or ideas on how I can work with them. I can have it develop writing samples for them to use as models. Um, I can go on and on. So I've got that, and it's telling me recommended grouping strategy, how to pair the students and this and that. So I can do that, which is great. And it's going to ask me here, do you want some strategies or do you want any mini lessons? So I can even build out mini lessons for these. So I might say, please, oops, please build out a mini lesson for group 5. So, this group is struggling about a lot. And so basically it's giving me sentence frames to use with them. It's giving me some other strategies that I could use. Again, it's giving a formula. So it's getting um, very concrete with these guys. And these were the students who struggled the most. And it's giving me a mini lesson. So it's kind of cool. And I can dial this in and keep asking them questions. Now let's say I just want to be able to take the data from my period 1 to my PLC. And again, let's say my students just did this today. You can see how fast I'm getting this right now. But if I wanted to take the data in my PLC, I might say, please aggregate the data from my students and put into a table that I can take with me to my PLC to further analyze. And so now it's going in here and it's saying, okay, here's what happened. And it's giving me a lot of this down here, but it's basically, I can take this now and say, basically 4 of my students, this is what they did. I had four in each category, and this is where it was. This tells me the mastery rate, and this is basing it again on the new on-demand writing rubric from the state. One thing I might do is provide student samples as those become available, or as the year goes on, I might keep adding those to this so it can draw on exactly what I'm looking for. It even gives me the questions, look at this, that I can take into my PLC. But let's say I want to say, we're really working on evidence. So I might say, break down the evidence use in more detail. Maybe that's what I want to take to my PLC. So now I'm getting this, and it's telling me which students did what. And so I can go in here and I can look at, what kind of evidence, what happened, and it's just a ridiculous amount of data that you can have. This is what they said. They brought up scientific facts, personal observations. These guys, 60% missed the connection to a claim, lack of explanation. 40% of my students had irrelevant details. And so this really can guide then my own thinking and my PLC. So this again is called Student Writing Trends, and you can upload by class, and then you can have an idea really quickly of what your students, where they're doing well, where they're going to need more instruction, and then you can use MagicSchool to even support building out mini lessons or creating data charts that you can then take to your PLC to discuss. If you have questions, don't hesitate to reach out. Scott.Christensen at canyonsdistrict.org.